Okay, dragons, here are the answers to the little half sheet on transformations. Here we go. We start off with the parent function. We're going to translate down 4 units, and that will be a shift in the D value, if you looked at my video. And so remember, if you add a constant or a number to the parent function, it will translate it up or down. So we're going down 4, so we're going to subtract 4. There we go. All these can be verified on your calculator. So what happened here? That's the parent. We have a change in A, and we have a change in D. So A is more than 1. It's going to get narrower by a factor of 3, if you want to write that down, and it translates up 2. All right, the next one, we have the answer. So we want the original, so we have to work backward. Well, if we look over here, we have A being negative. Actually, it's a -1. So if I want to reflect that, I got to make that a positive. So instead of saying negative x squared, I'm going to say x squared. And now this was plus 7. It was translated up 7 units, so I got to work backwards. So I'm going to translate subtract 7 from this, and we actually wind up with the parent. Check it out. If I start with the parent and I translate up 7 units, that becomes a plus 7. And if I reflect it, I make my a positive, negative, and that will reflect it over. Go ahead and put that in your calculator, and you'll see it does exactly what it says right here. All right, we start off with the parent, and now we have this. We have a change in A. A is now less than 1, so it got wider by a factor of 1/4. And we have a change of D. It's going down, so that's going to be a translation down of 3. All right, so the next one, we're not starting off with the parent, we're starting off one that's a little wider. But you notice my A over here is 1/4, and now it becomes, my A becomes a 2. So it was less than 1, and now it's greater than 1, and it has gotten narrower by, actually by a factor of 8, because 1/4 times 8 is 2. And notice we now have a change in D, so that's a translation down 5. All right, the next one, if you type this in your calculator, you'll see that it is opening down because A is negative, and it has a translation of 3 up. So we're going to reflect this. So if A is equal to -1 here, remember there's an understood -1 there. If we're reflecting it across the x-axis, that means that A has become positive. And we're going to translate down 4 units from this plus 3. So if I subtract 4 from that, what's 3 minus 4? It's going to be a -1. So if I put that all together, my new function is going to be 1 times x squared, or simply x squared, and then 3 minus 4 is going to give me a -1. So check that out. Put that in one line of your calculator and this in the other, and see if it actually did reflect it and translate it down. All right, and again, another work backward problem. All right, instead of translating down starting here, I got to do the reverse. So I'm going to actually add 8 to this. So if I add 8 to that, 5 plus 8 is 13. That's all we're doing is a translation. There we go. All right, we start with here. We have an A of what? 4, and we're translating to an A of 8. So it's actually getting, going from skinny to even skinnier. So this one's going to be narrower by a factor of 2. And what happened to here? My D is 1, but now it's 5, so it went up 4 units. And over here we have a change in the A. Actually, we switch signs. This one's negative and this one's positive, so that means a reflection. Anytime you change signs on A, it's going to be a reflection over the x-axis. And we're going from 1/4 to 1/2. So 1/4 to 1/2, we're actually, believe it or not, we're getting narrower. Both are still wider than the parent, but this one compared to this one is going to be narrower because your value of A increased.